Well, again, welcome to this week's edition of the Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's. I'm Norm Weimer. This is Big John Malkowski. This is Marty Bin. Don't even ask why he's wearing glasses today.
Yeah, but I think I set a new record for derailing the show. We didn't even get through the opening, introductions, and you were already smirking.
You'll have to tweet to him, and he'll answer you in a couple of weeks.
I would like to thank the corneal specialist yesterday for removing much of the pain. Yes, my hero.
Corneal abrasions are not fun.
No.
All right, we got a whole bunch of stuff to go over today. So first, we want to give our nod to the Toledo Walleye. We're taping this earlier in the week, so obviously we can't comment on what the series is going to be by the time this airs on Saturday night. So, but best of luck. It's been a great season, one way or another. As we're taping, they're down 0-2. So,
They've been scrappy. We'll give them that.
They've been scrappy.
Yes.
To get to the finals is an extremely difficult thing to do. So, all right, we want to get to the big story.
Which one of those is this on here?
Well, because everybody's looking forward to the NFL, especially if you're a Tigers fan.
If you're a regional sports fan.
Growing number of Indians fans, Reds fans.
You know what? That's going to kill me when you're that right about the Twins at the end of the year. Because it's 10 now?
Yep.
Last I saw it was.
I understand it's only a third of the way through the season, but that's a lot. And it doesn't seem to be getting better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's about 3 games a week is about the best you can hope for to try to catch up. So if you extrapolate it out, they're, better than 3 weeks behind them.
Yeah, well, you better go on a heck of a run.
Oh, yeah.
And the Twins better come back to the pack a bunch because you need help to get 3 games a week.
You start losing season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Gets late early.
Right.
So you got to be playing 100% winning percentage above somebody to gain that kind of ground, and maybe 150 to gain more than that. So you got to really they've either got to slump bad or you've got to go on a tear.
Well, Jose Ramirez needs to figure out what's gone wrong. If he doesn't, forget it. All right, but what I was saying was,
sorry,
looking forward to the NFL season. What's the first thing you see out of the NFL season besides the exhibition game in Canton that nobody watches? It's Hard Knocks on HBO. So we don't know who the team's going to be yet, but there's 5 that they can choose from.
I think there's only one answer.
I think there's 2 possible answers.
I think there's only one.
All right, the Lions
just get on HBO, baby.
Because it was the Browns last year.
Okay.
So
they would be really good this year too.
The Lions
unfortunately
are on that list. Your Redskins, which I don't think would be a bad choice. You got a new quarterback. You got
will Haskins start?
Yeah.
At what point does he shine? Does he struggle? Then they can do the back and forth. So I think you have Giants, 49ers, Redskins, Lions, and Raiders.
Well, thanks for giving that away, but sure.
Okay, but the Lions and Raiders and 49ers quarterback situations are relatively solved.
Well, the Giants, you got the next Eli Manning.
Right, so I'm saying, but
in a lot of ways,
in more ways than that. So I think it's down to I think it's the all NFC East finals in this. It's either the Giants or the Redskins. No. You say it's the Raiders?
Absolutely.
Because of Gruden?
Antonio Brown.
I can't argue.
Richie Incognito.
I can't argue with him.
Vontez Burfict. I mean, come on.
I can't argue with him.
It is a dumpster fire.
It is set up
No,
for that.
it's not a dumpster fire, but the incognito thing is just awful.
It's become like
it's
Chucky's
embarrassing.
actually like a Halloween movie now. It's like a bunch of weird stuff going on, and you're waiting for slashers to come out. So it really is. I was trying to deflect away from the obvious choice. I was trying to go with something sensible to football fans as opposed to the freak show that has become the Raiders.
No, it's
the incognito thing is just it's defenseless. I don't get it. He had.
Can you imagine he and Vontez Burfict beating the heck out of each other in the locker room? I mean, it'll make.
A good
what were the
place
2
for
guys with the Jets that broke the jaw and whatever? Remember somebody punched somebody and broke his jaw.
Well, I want to read this here. According to court documents obtained by ESPN, Incognito pleaded guilty to charges of criminal damage and disorderly conduct after he punched a fist-sized hole in a wall in the living room of his 90-year-old grandmother ripped a security system control box off the wall during an argument August 19th of 2018. I mean, he's already got a long list of things that he was stupid about. And stupid is probably being kind to him.
Yes.
Police report described Incognito as enraged that he blamed his grandmother for the death of his father, which we announced on Twitter the day before. He was ordered to take 10 weekly anger management classes. I'm sure that went well. But you could tell what he was doing because they told him to stay away from his grandmother's home, stay on his medication, avoid alcohol, and not possess firearms.
Can you see that 12 something? Hi, Richie.
Sounds like the guy I want to sign.
But he also pleaded guilty last month in Arizona to a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge stemming from an arrest in August. 2 days after the fight with his grandmother, he's arrested in Scottsdale after making threats at a funeral home where his father's body was being held.
He was emotional about his dad. There's that old comic joke. I learned the other day they won't sell firearms to a man who's crying. I mean, you know.
I can't defend it. Cannot defend it. It's just flat out wrong.
Come on.
It's flat out wrong.
No, and then I heard a quote from Mike Mayock who said, "Well, you can tell by the draft we're moving in the direction we want to. Character means something."
We did a lot of. He gave the.
It does mean something. It absolutely does, and we're ignoring that and putting whatever kind of mayhem
and
on the
we're
field we
finding
can.
perfect-
Well, he gave the. We did a lot of research into this,
Yeah.
and we feel comfortable with this. And
Who was the Saints guy that disappeared before the Super Bowl? I'm just trying to go
No,
highlights.
that was the Raiders. Barrett
that
Browning,
was.
Barrett Barnes.
Yeah. Remember, it was Barrett something or
Yeah.
other. Yeah. He's just wait. Maybe you make a Super Bowl again, and then one of these guys can walk.
my hunch is he might get cut before that even airs.
No.
Well, not if they just signed him.
He's got
36
he's
years
got a
old.
performance-laden contract.
Right.
As is every NFL contract, because none of them are guaranteed.
Do you think he's going to stay out of trouble?
I don't think they want him to
course
stay
not.
out of trouble. He's there to teach guys to cut block and not get flagged all the time. I mean, he's basically there to teach you how to grab a guy's junk in the pile and not get caught and bite ankles. I mean, come on. I'm just saying.
You really think that that's what they're
Who
going
was
to teach their
Deerdorf's
players?
partner in the Cardinals? Who was
Conrad Dobler.
Conrad Dobler. He's there
Well,
to teach.
was Merlin Olsen too? You
He's
know
there
about that.
he's there to teach their entire line to be the modern day Conrad Doblers.
Because Merlin Olsen played, the FTD guy,
Yeah.
flower guy, and played for the Rams.
I don't think you should do this when you're saying
Conrad Dobler,
yes.
roll the dice. We're going to get calls on this one. You did that. I don't even know what I'm saying now.
The Conrad Doblers and Merlin Olsons.
Well, yeah, Conrad Dobler was voted like the dirtiest player in the NFL, and apparently him and Merlin Olsen went after each other on the field many times. And he said he would get Merlin Olsen so upset that he would forget what he was doing and worry about trying to get it back and not get a tackle the whole day. But they were both in the Pro Bowl together on the same side, and Merlin Olsen attacked him on the trainer's table.
As it should be.
And sometime before Merlin Olsen died, he said something about Conrad Dobler was the dirtiest player that ever played the game, and Dobler said, "It's nice to know he still thinks of me."
I'm just saying. And Richie Incognito's there to train their line
But
to
he
be
wasn't
just like that.
crazy like Incognito, Dobler.
Okay.
He wasn't doing that stuff off the field. Okay. Just saying.
So this is like a hybrid. It's Bill Romanowski and Conrad Dobler in a Super Raider.
Oh, it's Lyle Alzado. You can go back.
Oh yeah, in
all kinds of-
a long line of
Alzado
maniacal
had other
traditions.
things getting into.
Yes.
No, we're overdue for a break here. We'll take a timeout, and hopefully we'll be back. It's the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer, a shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Mortgage Marty here. It's spring buying season's right around the corner. In fact, now is the best time to get started. Gives us a little lead time. If there's things we need to tweak, we can get on it right away. Remember, those credit inquiries don't affect your score any more than they will if you check later. So one inquiry, whether it's now and then again in the spring, still only counts as one, won't hurt your score. We helped 3 customers this week improve their score by an average of 30 points. So reach out now. Let's get that started. 419-461-0667 or marty.bin, B-I-H-N, at fairwaymc.com.
Powerbomb Wrestling is back in Toledo coming up on Sunday, June the 2nd, St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville in Toledo. Doors will open at 4:15, bell time at 5. It is June Justice, and you will see the champion Brandon Day defend his title. Also, a no DQ, no count out for the tag team titles. Andy Shane against Man Fulton and more. It's Sunday, June the 2nd, St. Clements Hall in Toledo.
And back we are, I think so, here on the front row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. And Ralphie's, my home away from home. Don't forget wing time 2 to 5 weekdays, where you can get a 10-count wings for half price, and then those half-priced appetizers after 9. All right, we disciplined Marty during the break.
I'm sorry, I'll do better.
We haven't talked much basketball.
I think there's a reason.
The best show in the NBA going, I don't think, is the NBA Finals. I think it's the LA Lakers themselves. Marty looked at this and goes, "This show's all about dumpster fire stuff." Well, this is dumpster fire stuff.
Correct. I mean, we are basically watching implosions, and I have no idea what's going on there.
Since when did Kurt Rambis' wife become a front office member and have a say in anything? And why?
I have 2 words for this: Genie Bus. I mean, it is a disaster there.
You know, she's actually created their Women of Wrestling.
I did not know that.
Holy cow.
Dave McLean.
Wow.
But anyway.
And I think here's where I really...
That's how much she knows about basketball.
But the interesting thing of this is I completely started tuning it out the minute that my ESPN feed was giving me that as the number 1 thing, and then Screamin' A. Smith's reply to it as the number 2 feed, so that I had no choice but to care about some ridiculous offseason grease fire that has been the Lakers for as long as I can remember. I mean, they've now passed the Browns for the most dysfunctional organization in America.
Well, you can,
and that's an honor you should. I mean, you should get a award for that.
You may have liked Kupchak or not, but at least he was an NBA quality front office guy. All right. How do you hire Magic Johnson, who's shown nothing of any kind of front office ability, and Kobe Bryant's agent?
Well, not only has Magic not shown anything, but he didn't even want to work hard at it. Magic's a guy that you
ceremonial
comes in, shake
figurehead.
hands.
Correct. Everybody loves him. He's a great guy, but don't make him make any important, difficult decisions.
He supposedly told them when he took the job he was going to continue doing other things, his other businesses.
He's a part owner of the Dodgers.
Yeah, and movie theaters, I assume, still.
But being an agent and talent evaluation are 2 totally unrelated, different things. As an agent, you're trained to lie. And get your client the best deal you can get. I mean, it's like being a defense lawyer. It's kind of the same thing.
I was going to go higher office than that, but you told me I'm not allowed to anymore, so I'm not going to say that.
Well, good. Okay. Because we don't need to go there.
And then you bring in LeBron James, who you know is going to try to run the show.
Sure.
So you've got...
If you're going to bring him in, you might as well let him run the show.
Because at least he can evaluate the talent. He can bring the people in around him he wants, but yes.
Well,
at least he knows who everybody is.
Well, I keep hearing, they picked LeBron James to be here. Really? Or I thought LeBron James picked the Lakers and just kind of said, "Hey, I'm signing with you guys. I want to be in Hollywood."
Anyone that assumes he's not making all the decisions is lying to themselves.
Well, but he can't be. They didn't sign his coach. They didn't sign the GM he wanted.
Well, and now that's what I'm saying about dumpster fire. Whatever it was already, it's going to get worse, because can you imagine him not getting his way?
No. It's never happened before.
That's going to make Kyrie Irving's flat world thing look like sanity.
I don't know. How much does he care right now?
I don't imagine him to enjoy losing.
You know,
And somebody that proud and the legacy thing and whatever, I think he cares a ton just because he's that kind. You know, Jordan would run you over on the golf course with a cart if he caught you cheating putting or something. I think he's like that.
He doesn't care, but did he try to rush himself back from the injured list?
Well, he saw there was no point to it. I mean,
there was no reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
But he's got business interests and he's got other things going.
I don't think it's that. I think when he wants to, he can still turn it all the way on. And
Well,
I think he wants to win, but he's not going to take an impossible situation and be like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing the right thing just because.
And if you're Anthony Davis, why would you want to go to this?
If you were anybody, why would you want to go?
Well, because
crap
he's been in
circus?
an organization that's been like that for a while, so it would seem like home, just a little further west.
Yeah, but he's probably going to have better talent if he stays where he's at.
Yes. The Zion's the next coming.
Well, because apparently both Magic Johnson and Kobe's agent there were both signing free agents in the offseason without telling each other about it. Well, not talking to the player personnel guys that were going, what are we signing these guys for? They're going, this guy's dead. Cross him off then.
Well, and again, you're signing the guys that LeBron wants, the older guys, the guys that, I mean, you need young shooters.
Well, but they had both. They had the young guys, and they could have dealt them or whatever else, and then they signed guys that don't complement anything. I mean, like, how many people said before the season, I don't understand why you don't get 3 or 4 snipers, and instead you got all these other guys that penetrate. It doesn't make, none of it has ever made any sense to me.
How much does the Lakers, the Knicks, the Bulls all stink and hurt the NBA?
I don't think it matters. I think that what hurts the NBA is until somebody
Hurts ratings.
I think until the Warriors are knocked off the perch, it doesn't matter the rest of those teams.
Hurts ratings.
But I think the NBA has always been a dynasty league. And I heard a stat this morning, I forget the exact numbers, but it's like 55 of the 68 of the last 62 finals have included one of 5 coaches.
Yeah, but the dynasties were Boston and the Lakers and the Sixers.
Yeah, but
then later
But
the Bulls.
The Bulls won, and then you had the
major-
the Rockets
were
won,
good for a
and-
few
Their
years.
but the major markets were the dynasties.
Yeah, but now it's almost a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, but the Knicks have stunk for a long time, and even when Ewing was there, they couldn't get over the hump, and it didn't hurt a darn thing. And the Clippers were, they were the original NBA dumpster fire. Donald Sterling, Adam Silver, Donald Sterling. Wrong precious metal, sorry.
All right. I think it hurts the NBA. But let's take a timeout. We'll come back and, we'll talk about
some baseball dumpster
one of
fires.
Big John's favorite players. It's a Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer. A shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Mortgage Marty here. It's spring buying season's right around the corner. In fact, now is the best time to get started. Gives us a little lead time. If there's things we need to tweak, we can get on it right away. Remember, those credit inquiries don't affect your score any more than they will if you check later. So one inquiry, whether it's now and then again in the spring, still only counts as one, won't hurt your score. We helped 3 customers this week improve their score by an average of 30 points. So reach out now. Let's get that started. 419-461-0667 or marty.bin, B-I-H-N, at fairwaymc.com.
Powerbomb Wrestling is back in Toledo coming up on Sunday, June the 2nd, St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville in Toledo. Doors will open at 4:15, bell time at 5. It is June Justice, and you will see the champion Brandon Day defend his title. Also, a no DQ, no count out for the tag team titles. Andy Shane against Man Fulton and more. It's Sunday, June the 2nd, St. Clements Hall in Toledo.
All right, welcome back. Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. All right, one of Big John's favorite baseball players.
Everybody's so excited for him to get here in July. If he makes it.
One of your top 5 all-timers.
Oh, absolutely.
Tim Tebow. Notice we haven't heard anything about Tim Tebow in a while.
There's a reason.
See, I figure now that Watson's suspended and Gronk's retired, he was going to actually sign for his true calling in life as an NFL tight end with the Patriots.
Didn't want to play tight end.
I didn't say he wanted to. I said his true calling.
Well, I'm just saying.
I thought he was a spiritual guy. I thought God would have talked to him by now and said, "You're not a baseball player."
No, let's not
Come
go
on.
there.
I just did.
Because if you follow that,
I've done a whole bunch of other terrible things this show. I might as well finish it off by offending everyone left.
if you follow that to its ultimate conclusion, that means that the team that prays the most wins the game.
I understand that.
Because there's people praying on the other teams too, and
God doesn't like them. He just likes the other team.
what was that? I don't remember what that was from now.
Yes.
But anyway, getting off of that, that's going to sink us.
Well, he has made Michael Jordan look like a good baseball player.
Yes.
Well, Jordan played Double-A. Tebow's in Triple-A.
And shouldn't be. Just to be clear, I'm saying if we put them both in Double-A and left them there a while, it'd be easier to match up stats.
I personally think what he's accomplished has been pretty good. Considering that here's somebody who hasn't played baseball in forever.
Yeah.
What, 10 years? He hadn't played baseball? He's how
Since high school,
old is he
yeah.
now?
31.
Yeah. And to be able even to make it up this high. Because he actually, his season last year in Double-A was actually a little better than it was in A-ball the previous year.
Yeah, it wasn't good, but it wasn't horrible.
But now he's gotten over his head.
I'm sorry, we're talking about Tim Tebow's baseball career. I was nodding off there for a moment.
You can go anytime you want to.
I
It's probably our last show anyway.
Sorry about that.
After you today.
Yeah, sorry. I'm tired of this thing that won't go away.
He's 20 for 128, which is a 156 batting average, and 128 at bats. He's struck out 53 times. And earlier this week, he got struck out by a position player who was pitching.
They called strike 3 by a position player.
So I mean, it was a nice run, and it was a nice little heartwarming story. But now he's hit AAA,
And
I'm taking D, none of the above. It was none of those things. It's been annoying to me the whole time.
you have younger kids in AA that throw a lot of fastballs. When you get to AAA, you get a lot of 4A guys that are upper 20s, low 30s,
know how to pitch.
trying to get that one more shot at the majors that are throwing junk, and he can't hit it.
Yeah, and I take a bunch of crap about Tim Tebow. Why do you hate Tim Tebow? I don't hate Tim Tebow. He's a great guy. Everything
Correct.
he's done is awesome. But he's not a baseball player.
And wasn't a quarterback.
And to think that he's gotten where he has on merit is just totally wrong. I mean, the Mets signed him as a publicity stunt. And at every level, and it's not that he's blocking a prospect or
'Cause he's
anything,
not.
because he's not. I mean,
Because not every player on a minor league team is a prospect.
no, and it's none of that stuff. Everybody gives me a hard time about it. It's because he has not earned any of this on merit.
Correct.
And he's finally showing it. I still think it's 50-50 whether the Mets call him up in September.
Oh, I wouldn't think so at this point. You'd have to put him on the 40-man roster.
Yeah, well, what else do they got?
Well, it is June, and they're not eliminated from the playoffs yet, the Mets.
So far, but
So let me see if I can translate what I just heard from Norm. So you're saying there's a chance.
You know who had a worse day this week, though? Tigers' old coach, Hank Haney.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch these comments, because we have the Marathon Classic coming up, too. Apparently, he was on
One of your favorite events.
He was on a radio show, and he was asked about the Women's U.S. Open and who might win. And he replied that it was going to be a Korean, probably named Lee.
is he totally wrong though?
Yes.
As we were texting earlier, I'm opting out of this. Honey, I love you. I'm not. I have said enough dumb things for one night. I'm putting myself in timeout.
Now, if he would have said, it'll probably be a South Korean, he probably could have gotten away with that.
Well, that's the part that I mean. Not
Yes.
But he says named Lee. No, you've gone too far. You're trying to be funny and you're not.
Yeah, I heard it and I thought that's about as funny as the old, what you call it, skit with, the heavy guys having more chins than a, right? I was like, there's just things you can't say anymore.
I'm surprised anybody really cares what he thinks anymore anyway.
Yeah, well, he's right there with Tim Tebow, in my opinion. He's completely irrelevant.
You got to stay relevant somehow.
Right, so you could say something really stupid. So I just became relevant tonight then.
It's like the Beatles drummer that got replaced by Ringo Starr.
I don't know who that was.
Look it up.
Okay.
You can use this and Google it.
I need my other pair of glasses.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, why that makes headlines? I mean, so some idiot said something really stupid. I just don't care anymore. And by the way, all of you that send me all these stupid things, stop it. I know people are stupid. I don't need you to prove it by sending me the dumb things people say.
A rather lack of sensibility.
Yes.
Of course, I know you're all excited for the Marathon Classic. So.
I enjoy it because, as you know, annually we have been able to host some young ladies who literally fight to make a cut, and making a cut to them is getting above a paycheck and continuing on. And when I say they go out there and grind, they're out there. They don't make any extra money. I mean, they work their tails off, and they are the nicest, most awesome people you'd ever meet. And you get to go follow them around for a few days, and if they make the cut, you get to go out there on a weekend. And I can tell you, for us and our family, it is one of the more awesome experiences because you just know them and you feel personally involved. And at any level, when you feel personally involved with an athlete, it's a different, whether it's a family member or a friend, it's different.
And I mean, we go out all the time, and my kids love it because they all sign autographs. They're all more than willing to get a picture taken, or to hand out golf balls or gloves or anything. They're thankful that people are there watching.
I just miss being in the tent outside on asphalt. When it's 90 degrees and the tent cuts the wind off.
When the storm comes through and you're out there holding on for dear life.
There was somebody fainted like right in front of our tent one year. Although the course might be underwater if we don't get a change of weather here. So, but that's the part I don't miss, is being in the tent outside on asphalt. So, all right, I think we're done. Maybe in more ways than one. Oops. If you'd like, you can sponsor this show, get a hold of me, Facebook, Twitter, or one of the kind. Our Powerbomb Pro Wrestling event's coming up tomorrow, and that'll be at St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville. If you've never seen pro wrestling in person like this, you'll have a good time. All right, we'll get on out of here. Big John will be back next week. Not sure about Marty. And Saturday Night Live next. We'll see you next week right here. Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's.